What's going on, my Jets family? So let's talk about Zach Wilson's performance on Sunday. So, from what I saw, it seemed that the main takes were either that he wasn't that good, that his stat line wasn't good, and that he played better in the fourth quarter, or that he was okay. I have a different take. I have a different take on Zach Wilson's performance. So you guys know Zach's my guy, man. You guys know this is the guy I always wanted at BYU. I saw the things there that made me feel this kid can be special. This kid has all the intangibles and everything needed to translate to the NFL level. Just needs to be cultivated, just needs to be worked on. Well, my take, different than many others. I really liked what I saw in Zach Wilson. Again, the stat line wasn't pretty, but it's not really all his fault. There were a lot of drops in that game. There were a lot of drops, a lot of miscues, miscommunications. Zach throws the ball very hard. That was another thing I noticed as well. Excuse me. He had a couple of throws that were much stronger velocity than when Joe Flacco's throws. They were dropped. And again, the numbers, the stat line wasn't that good, but I think Zach Wilson had a very good performance. I do. I felt like Zach was poised in the pocket. I felt like he made really, really good throws. I thought he made really good throws, accurate throws, and smart throws for the most part. Now, he had 2 interceptions. That first one, you can fault him a little bit on, but not as much as everybody is faulting him. So we need to remember that we see the game from that upward, my apologies, guys. We see the game from that upward camera angle. Very different perspective. A lot easier to see what's going on. Zach's seeing it from the backfield. Zach's seeing a different angle with 6'5", 6'6" offensive linemen in front of him. I firmly believe, and I know the announcer said it as well, he didn't see the safety over the top. The way the corner and the wide receiver were positioned, I don't think he even saw them. Excuse me. And to reiterate that, I kind of liked it as well. You guys know, I bring you, the media and stuff after the games. In Zach Wilson's interview, he said he has a different mentality this year. He's going to throw the ball. He's going to make decisions, be confident in his decisions, and live with the results, is literally what he said. And that's what you want in your quarterback. You don't want your quarterback to be afraid. You don't want your quarterback to be afraid to take chances, to be afraid to sling it. And if he does throw an interception, to let it dwell on him, to not, throw it off his shoulders. You want to be like, okay, moving on. Let's get back out there and let's freaking win this game. And that's what Zach did, right? He pushed through the whole game. So again, my take on Zach is very different than a lot of others. Again, you heard, a lot of people were saying either that he wasn't that good and he pulled it together in the fourth quarter, excuse me, or that he was okay. I think he played pretty well the whole game, and I think that showed in the fourth quarter because the team started playing better around him. And his numbers in the fourth quarter were awesome. He was almost perfect, had a great fourth quarter performance, and of course, the game-winning drive because they didn't give up. Just like we saw week 2, right? This is a team that doesn't give up, right? They got fight in them, and that's what you need because we know any given Sunday, right? Anybody can win at any point. That's why we play the game, right? You never know, who's going to bring it, who's not going to bring it. So, man, week 2, we stole that win. We came back and won. Zach came back and won. But again, coming back to his performance, I thought Zach played well. I thought Zach was poised in the pocket. I thought he held his ground pretty well. You have to remember, we have a makeshift offensive line that was protecting him. I'm going to have another video on it later if you guys check it out. It's going to be an AVT appreciation video. Man, not enough appreciation goes this man's way. They moved him to left tackle, and he kept Zach's blind side safe. But we also saw what happened with Max Mitchell, which I'm also going to talk about later as well. Thankfully, he's going to be back within a few weeks. It's not season ending, but our offensive tackle this year has been like a freaking Greek tragedy, man, right? Our offensive tackle situation has been awful. We've been makeshift and going through them. So, hopefully Dwayne Brown's supposed to be back this week, potentially. We got guys like Mike Reimers coming into the mix, but that was a makeshift offensive line. Herbig looked okay at right guard. McDermott looked like his normal turns. I even feel like calling McDermott a turnstile is almost like too nice. Like even a turnstile has a little bit of resistance, so the offensive line was not good. But even with the sometimes good and sometimes bad offensive line play, I felt like Zach Wilson held his own. I felt like he held his ground in the pocket. Even when it collapsed, he made good decisions. And I felt like when he threw the ball, they were good throws and they were accurate throws with really strong velocity. And we also saw him moving around, made a lot of great escapes, and that's important because his knee's obviously doing better. We saw, again, a lot of great escapes from him, a lot of great plays where he moved out of the pocket, and he said after the game, he never thought about his knee once, and that's what we want to hear. He said he never thought once in the whole game, through every situation, never thought about his knee at all, which is just great. So that's awesome. So the other thing I also really liked about Zach Wilson, maybe you guys noticed this as well, when the pocket collapsed, being Zach Wilson doing what he does best, he moved out of the pocket, he rolled around, scrambled. You guys remember, my favorite thing about Zach Wilson is his pocket awareness, right? His ability to sense that and his innate ability to move around the pocket and sense the pressure. It's just amazing, and it opened up the offense, right? Before Zach Wilson was playing, Elijah Moore wasn't even part of our offense, right? Braxton Berrios wasn't part of our offense. On that second drive, Elijah Moore literally had all the receptions, had almost 50 yards on that one drive, and Braxton Berrios throws the touchdown to Zach. If that's not them saying, hey, these two guys are back in the offense, I don't know what is. So Garrett's obviously a part of it too, but now that Zach is back, I saw it, man. I saw what I needed to believe that, man, this offense is going places. Again, Zach is a very dynamic quarterback. Again, we look at how he played. I felt, again, he held himself in the pocket really well, but here's something that, maybe some people didn't notice. When he fell out of the pocket, in the past, he used to scramble a lot. What he did, and I noticed this as well, instead of running, he would reset his feet often on the edges of, by the hash marks on the side and try to make a throw down the field. Unfortunately, if you guys go back and watch the game, more often than not, he was throwing it out of bounds. But that's still a major awareness of the quarterback, right? That's a major growth of Zach Wilson. Instead of trying to rely on his feet, he scrambled out of the pocket, reset his feet, and tried to find an open receiver. And a couple of times we saw it, he did find the guy. So again, my take, very different than a lot of other people's. I thought Zach played a very good game. Again, I thought he was poised in the pocket. I thought when he threw the ball, they were very good throws. They were accurate throws. Again, that first interception, like I mentioned, I don't think he really saw that safety, and he took a risk. He took a chance. It didn't pan out. The second interception, 100% Conklin's fault. If you're a tight end and the ball hits your hands, yeah, it was a little high, but it doesn't matter. If you're a tight end and the ball hits your hands, you have to come up with it. You have to come up with it. No excuses. So I put that one totally on Tyler Conklin. So again, everyone's take was, well, Zach wasn't doing that well, but it came together in the fourth quarter. My take is different. I felt like Zach played a good game. I felt like, again, poised in the pocket, made really good throws, more often than not, made really good decisions, made this offense come alive. He brought his dynamic of finding the open receivers that Flacco couldn't seem to find, finding the open receivers, scrambling out of the pocket when the offensive line collapsed, which happened often because, again, it was a makeshift offensive line. Hopefully, getting Dwayne Brown back, Mike Reimers will be coming in. Hopefully this offensive line will be getting better. But even with the offensive line struggling a bit, he was good. So, man, I think Zach Wilson played a very good game. That's my take on it. I liked what I saw in him. I liked the things that I saw that would lead to, like I mentioned before, I saw the things I needed to see to be like, okay, Zach is back. And I do still believe this is the guy, man. So that's my take. I think he was much better than people were giving him credit for. And in that fourth quarter, it just showed because the team was playing better around him. So appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys can subscribe to the channel, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.